life.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. The Anti-Hero broadcast is the news entertainment broadcast for all veterans, first responders, and blue-collar Americans. It's Wednesday, Friendsday, gents. Y'all ready?
Yes. Always.
Of course, the show is brought to you by Human Performance. Go to hp-trt.com. Use promo code HERO. Save 20%, not just on your initial purchase of TRT, but every single month. Get your TRT, get your Anavar, get your peptides, get everything you need for your men's health journey at hp-trt.com. Save 20%. Let's get into it. We got any reflections real quick? I know you guys were talking about comments earlier.
I got reflections of my own that I didn't get to talk to because we're not in studio. But I played some Warhammer last night with some of the boys from the chat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gaming channel's coming.
Yep. Game channel's coming, baby. We had a long
Counterculture
conversation
gaming
about that. And does Tessa play? Space
Yeah.
Marine?
I just don't know what. I'm sure she doesn't play Warhammer, but I'll figure out what she plays and we'll start getting that linked up.
Play blackjack. Does that count for the gaming network?
We actually, Mike, you were brought up last night in the conversation. Dial on. He said, "Well, when GTA 6 comes out, you two need to role play as cops.
Yeah,
the rest of us will be or either that, or you can live out."
I play Call of Duty. It's just very sporadic.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, how are you? Jimmy said you were hard in the paint in the comments this morning.
So obviously, well, what a sound cut. Rob's opening statement, I didn't even listen to it yesterday and heard it, was that he has a podcast coming down his throat, which is probably the soundbite of the. I know you caught it because you clipped it just right.
Got it.
And what a thing to say! Like, I'm gonna go on camera. I'm already a bitch, and I'm gonna clip. I have someone coming down my throat. Like I just wouldn't. I try not to use that.
And it's pre-recorded. I would have been like, actually, hold on.
Yeah, dude. Let's get the coming in my throat part. Let's run that back. Let's run it back. But no, I was going. I made a comment about that. I posted, and then people the same comments. A bunch of nobody cops and regular military dudes suck, and some other ones. But here's what I'm gonna say. I've tried to back off of this. I don't like to talk about our career. People don't like cops and all that, and they glorify these guys. A regular street cop that does 20 years, and Jimmy knows this, we've already discussed it, will see 100 times more death and destruction and terrible things than a guy overseas. You go for a certain time, you see some terrible things, but you go, and Tyler said over and over, you go every day, you have no idea what's next. In war, you know what you're going into. You're gonna have to kill dogs, you're gonna have to shoot people, you might have to take a kid out. It's horrible. But you could go, like we talk about, your emotions of a cop every day. And I'm not sticking up for the job. I don't do it anymore. But you go from granny's dead on the couch to a robbery to a sexual battery of a child over and over and over. And a big, bad Navy SEAL is a bitch. And he can't handle a little bit of criticism or somebody talking about him. And he brings his wife into it and his kids into it. It's just bad. So that's kind of what the comments were. I was kind of expressing that, that back and forth with some people.
Was that on our reel?
Yeah, it's under the comments. It's not much. I don't really get too involved, but I slide in, make my slick comment.
Ghost and ghost.
I do. I don't fucking care, but the more you talk about it, somebody's saying it's all we talk about. And here we are talking about it again, but it's like, we didn't talk about it. You're getting sued. If you think a guy suing you for $25 million
here's the thing about
going to warrant
like
some
that.
Conversation.
Those fucking bitch made punks in the fucking comment section that want to say it's all we talk about. It's all Andy Stumps posted this week. It's all Andy Stumps posted for a week and a half.
Yeah.
Is Andy Stump allowed to post it? But we're not. The motherfucker's talking about us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna get my fucking money's worth. I told them that. I told everybody that, dude. If you fucking play this game, dude, I'm gonna get my fucking money's worth. You're going to get back into the spotlight, Rob. And this isn't a lesson on fucking media, and it's not a lesson on fucking how to do anybody's job. But this would be it would be retarded to sleep on this.
I don't think we would have. I'm honestly, with the change in our show and the change of our setup and our different group of guys we have, I don't think he would have ever came up again, ever. Maybe in a slight jab here somewhere, maybe something.
I didn't, dude. I wouldn't. I don't care.
I don't know why he would have.
Never cared. Rob's the only person that cares about who actually killed Osama bin Laden. Rob O'Neill's the only. I call him Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden. Rob's the only motherfucker that cares about that. He's the only one.
When I posted the reel that I posted, that I thought that was Rob's parting shot at us, and I was taking my parting shot at him. And it was like, okay, we're fucking moving on. Go fuck yourself. Fuck you.
He thought he won. He thought he won that day.
He thought he had.
He didn't do, just like everything else. He doesn't have the right information and doesn't do the right research. Knee jerk, probably drunk reaction to seeing Brent leave was they're gone. It's over with. He had no idea what was really going on. So,
I mean, Jimmy had it right when we broke it down yesterday. You know, I've always said it. You got to fucking fire me or kill me. That's the only way you're gonna stop me. I mean, the cockroach thing is a good analogy. Like, survive anything I would rather pick like another species of animal that can survive anything. But
what's funny is I was quoting you.
Did I say cockroaches?
No, but we had that conversation before, and you were talking about like these guys are like fucking cockroaches. I fired my best shot at them, and they won't die.
Yeah. So we have today, it's Wednesday, Friendsday, baby. We have a guest. Me and Mike have gone to his show. We've been friends with him for a long time. He is actually a huge supporter of the show. He's a war veteran, and he's a fellow
regular guy.
He's a fellow blue accordion like us, baby. We're gonna bring him in now. Scott Sinizter.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
No, nothing much, man. How about you?
Dude, look at this.
Hey, dude, I've been stoked to have this interview for a long time. Even like in the old format, we were trying to get you into Orlando at some point, and then when you came in, I know you were super booked, so you couldn't make the Squadcast that time. But yeah, man, we just want to get to know you. Every guest that we have on has some kind of tie to our community, was first responders or military or veteran. And what I respect so much about you is that it's not that anybody would be ashamed, but a lot of people do not or emphasize or show anything about maybe military service when they're in the entertainment sphere. And it's just because we know how people can take one thing and be like, oh, I'm going to label him this now because we all went to war. We all realize how retarded most that like 95% of that war was. But when you're 20 years old, you don't know. You think you're doing, God's work. But man, let's kick it off, dude. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What made your upbringing? What made you join the military? And then boom, we'll move on to the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, the military. Oh, dude. I enlisted when I was 17, so delayed entry. I was still in high school. 2009. I left in 2010. So I enlisted when I was 17 in 2009. Dude, I gotta think about this for a second. It's a long time ago. So I was airsofting a lot, which sounds really, really fucking lame, but I was airsofting a lot.
That stuff's fun, dude.
And that's kind of how it started. I was a horrible student in high school. Was totally not about to like graduate, and not because I was like into any sort of like bad shit. I just I prioritized like music. My love for music was like probably the biggest passion. And like when I turned 17, I was like, my mom was like, where are you gonna shout out to the horrible students? Yeah. My mom was like, wait, can you guys hear me? Am I speaking too loud?
No, you're good.
No, you're good.
Okay. All right, good. My mom and dad were like, what are you going to do when you graduate? And I was like, thinking to myself, like, if I graduate, they didn't realize how bad it was. But basically, I just told them, I was like, I don't know. I know what I want to do, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. And so the guys I was airsofting with, thankfully, it was a good group of dudes. And a lot of them were joining the military. Most of them joined the Army. And one guy in particular joined the infantry. And actually, a funny sort of sidebar, my recruiter actually recruited like 2 other people from my school and like 2 of my cousins. Like we all had the same recruiter. It was really, really weird. But he was like one of the best Army recruiters in that region. Like had like this big ass award for it on his desk.
What's the scale of like bringing people in like that?
Yeah. So as I was like, yeah, essentially. But yeah, so originally when I was like talking to that recruiter, I wanted to be a fucking pogue, which is super funny now in hindsight because the way I got introduced to the infantry was literally I was probably like 24 hours from going to MEPS, like after I had like done the ASVAB and all that shit. And this infantry recruiter was, you know, overhearing a conversation that I was having with my recruiter, and he was like, "Hey, what are you going in as again?" And I was like, you know, I want to do like this. It was like some like I can't even remember what the identifier was, but it's just a straight pogue. And he was like, "Dude, before you go down there, man, let me show you this video." And it was like this quick 2-minute like montage of like probably like Ranger and SF just doing like crazy shit, kicking indoors under night vision, faster open. Dude, it looked like
Black Hawk Down. Your own helicopter, bro.
Dude, it looked like fucking Black Hawk Down in real life. And I was like, "What job is that?" He's like, 11 Bravo. And I was like, "How do I get that job?" And he was like, "Oh, dude, you just say you want it." They'll give it to you. And I'm like,
anybody can have it.
Yeah, no, for real. So he was like, "Yeah, bro, anybody can have it." And I was like, "Oh, dude." So literally my recruiter's like, "Look, man," he was a commo guy, so he was a pogue. And he was like with a pogue unit and everything. So he was like, that was his whole thing. He was like, "Dude, look, you don't have to listen to," I'll never forget the guy's name. His name was Sergeant Babbis. So if you're out there and you ever see this video, fuck you. But
I feel the same way.
But yeah, he's like, "Look, man, you don't have to listen to Sergeant Babbis, man. You can choose something else. You can go with your first pick." And I'm like, "Nah, man." I'm like, "I want to be infantry." And that's how that happened. Yeah. So
I want to be cold and hungry all the time.
They did the same thing to me. Seriously. My video was like, you remember that projector with the film that spun, the 2 big wheels?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That's how they showed it to me. They were like,
lights off.
Yeah, it was lights were off. It was like on the wall.
Yeah.
I had the same video. Just mine was like they were, you know, riding on horses and shit.
Yeah.
Join the revolution.
Yeah. So obviously now with like the geopolitical state of affairs that we're find ourselves in, I'm definitely like reflecting a lot and reminiscing about like, damn, like it's really crazy. Like, because I was in Afghanistan when I was 20. I turned 21, had my 21st birthday overseas. And like, yeah, I was ready to fucking die for this shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I remember I went to Baghdad in 2008, and around 2013, around when I got out, I started learning about Paul Bremer and the Department of State and how he disbanded the Iraqi army and sent a bunch of military age males home with no job, completely destroyed their economy. And then all of a sudden, these people that ended up being ISIS later on down the road were like, "Hey, you guys need money? Well, we'll pay you per bomb you blow up." And they're like, "Okay." So we actually essentially created our own enemy over there. It's crazy. I didn't know any of that until I was older.
Yeah, that kind of seems like the thing that always happens. Somehow we always are involved with engineering our own enemies before they become our enemies.
Yeah, we talked to a
very common theme.
What would you guys call Elizabeth Lane? An independent investigative journalist?
Yeah. Who, Elizabeth Lane?
Yeah.
That's just polite ways.
Yeah, that's polite.
She was here. I think it was last week, and we talked to her. And man, we're trying to explain to her that, you know, when you're 20, there's just no telling. I could scream off the rooftops right now to 20-year-old kids about what it's really like, you know, war and, like you said, global economic or global policy and everything that goes on. I mean, dude, you're like, yeah, cool, man. I want to serve my country. There's just no changing that.
That's how it starts off. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can get into more geopolitical stuff, I guess, later in the interview, but
Well, all that stuff started back in 1939. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Dude, I mean, first of all, I mean, I think your path. When did you go in?
2010 is that's when I left to go to Fort Benning.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 9 years behind me.
Oh damn. Oh wait, what year did you go?
I went to Benning in June 2001.
Jimmy's prior
shit.
9/11. He joined before 9/11, dude.
Yeah, 9/11 happened when
dude.
I was. We were on the road march out to the fucking moving target range.
Oh
That's
shit.
when 9/11 happened.
Damn.
I joined around Desert Storm. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh man, dude. Fuck. Yeah, I actually remember. I remember you briefly touching on that in person. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, like sometimes I feel old, but like, I can't imagine you guys.
April 1996.
Fuck, man.
Jesus.
What made you want to get out of the Army and not be a career guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, I knew that I always wanted to do music. Like that was going to be like what I'm doing right now was my final stop, but I just didn't know how I was going to get there.
Yeah.
So, obviously like the incentives are pretty much what sold me on the Army specifically. And the fact that I'm a big, like personal control kind of guy, so the Marines didn't appeal to me because they're like, well, because I was like, well, can I be infantry, in the Marines? And they're like, nah, because my dad was in the Marines. So, my dad was kind of like, oh, how come you don't, become a jarhead?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's watching this too, by the way. So jam his ass up a little bit, but yeah, so it was really mostly because I couldn't pick my job, and I heard the Army got all the cool shit. So like all the new stuff, and I'm like, oh, dude, if I'm gonna be a warfighter, I want the new stuff, man. I want to be out there looking like Ghost Recon, and then of course that wasn't me. But
I remember all the recruiters' names. I remember, I grew up in suburbia, right?
Yeah.
And it was 2007 when I was talking to the Marine Corps recruiter named, he would always call me, and before I met him, his name was Sergeant Lil John. Well, it's Sergeant Little John.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
What?
I can tell he's African American. Just over the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man,
how
this
could you
guy, they
tell?
have nicknames. They have nicknames, bro. He's Sergeant Lil John.
That's
And then I
hilarious.
met him, and his name tag says Little John, and he's like, my mom's Native American. I was like, oh, I get it now. Okay.
Wrong. You picked the wrong race to stereotype.
Crazy.
You messed up.
But
Yeah,
he
dude,
told
that's
me, he's like-
funny and crazy at the same time.
and I
Dude,
was like,
we
oh,
had-
I really want to do infantry. And he was like, can't guarantee it, bud. I'm like, you can't guarantee infantry?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like, no.
weird.
Well,
I'm
they
like,
talked
dude,
to
why
you. They're like,
wouldn't you just approve me wanting to go and die? Like, why wouldn't
Yeah.
you say yes to that?
after talking to Tyler, like, man, this guy might need just to be in the kitchen scrubbing pots. Or
Yeah.
something. We don't know. We don't know if we can give him a gun.
Yeah,
This guy
So,
thought my name is Lil John.
yeah.
We had a spotted eagle and a cloud. My FO was named Wayne Cloud. That's
Wayne
not
Cloud.
a joke. He was a Sioux Indian.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of natives in the Army, especially.
Mhm.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are.
Tons.
Which I'm surprised there's not weird rules for. I mean, and I don't mean this in any derogatory way, but
yeah,
Native
yeah,
Americans have a lot of different rules when it comes to their territories and
Yeah,
their
yeah.
reservations. I'm surprised that they don't have like their own military unit, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. But
yeah.
I had one too. I had Staff Sergeant Topalm, and he was more of a cholo just because he grew up in the Army since like 8.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
you didn't know him. He was bald and tattoos. You're like, but he's actually Native American.
All the guys I knew, because I briefly for like a year was in like a I guess you'd call it as like a infantry scout platoon. But there was a guy in there and he was like high speed as fuck. From what I remember, just super squared away dude. But yeah, anyways. So your question was how I basically kind of how I got to where I'm
Yeah,
at
like
now.
why weren't you a career guy?
Oh, dude. Yeah. So I joined with fully knowing like this is not like
Okay.
I'm just gonna do do my time and kind of get out and then, go to school and, hopefully do what I need to do. But yeah, I mean, that was like why I initially joined. And then like while I was in, I obviously became like, especially like, inter-deployment, post-deployment, I was like very fucking patriotic and shit. I still am, to like a certain degree. Obviously there's some nuance with it now, but but when I was in, I was like, yes, like I'm doing the right thing. I'm fighting for my country. I was like really passionate about it. So I thought about staying in, but I'm like, man, like I just really, really, really want to be like, back then it was like, I envisioned myself like being the front man of some huge metal band, which obviously the future ended up, panning out a lot differently, but like I never pictured myself as like a rapper. But I mean, with the age of, like, I guess accessibility and everything's done like online and in a digital sense now, that's just kind of like what ended up happening. Like the rise of studio projects and one-man bands and one-man shows, all that kind of thing, kind of, it just blossomed into that. But yeah, I mean, I always knew that wasn't going to be, my final stop.
Were you doing music at all before the army, or did you just kind of know that was enough that you were?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's how I knew I wanted to do it. So like at 14, I was basically when I like picked up the microphone. I had a bunch of friends that were in like a death metal band that like, but all the spots were full, guitar, drums, bass, all that. And so, but they didn't have a vocalist. And I was like, I want to play, so I was like, I'll try my hand at vocals. And so, I started just like making sounds in my room and shit. And one day I kind of thought to myself, like, damn, like, I think this actually kind of sounds like some shit that we listened to, which at the time was like, Cannibal Corpse, Behemoth and shit like that. And so I was like, I think I got something here. So I had my mom go out and buy me like a little cheap little plug-in USB microphone, plug and play, from like Best Buy. This is back when Best Buy had like they used to have like a fucking music section and shit. Kind of like, it was like a little mini guitar center.
Cool.
Dude, it was. Best Buy used to be sick. But yeah, so got one of those, came home, plugged it in, and I started making the sounds in like this little free program called Audacity. It was like a free audio program. And I sent it to my friend who played guitar in that band, and he was like, oh, this actually does sound kind of cool. He's like, let me whip up a little like instrumental for you, and like you could just kind of write some shit on it. And so he did that. I sent something back, and they were like, okay, yeah, like we want to have you in the band. And so that became like my first band. It was called Gutted Remains. And there's like a digital, yeah. There's like, it's super death metal, but there's a digital footprint for all this stuff too. Like if you type in like Scott Gonzalez Immortus or Scott Gonzalez Gutted Remains, there's tons of like stuff that will come up. The only live performance music video came later.
Did you know how to do all that before you tried out, or was it like when you kind of like fib an application a little bit? Like I can do it,
Well, it was kind of just, it wasn't really a take my word for it kind of thing, but it was like, hey, I'm gonna like try my hand at this and just like try to be good. And yeah, like that's just how it happened. Like I was just making the sounds and based on, it was a lot of like imitating, like listening to death metal and like trying to sound like that, trying to make those sounds. And then yeah, like that it eventually it just kind of it caught on slowly. I wasn't good at first by any means. I was trash.
Did you play at all in the army? Did you or did you just maintain skill while by yourself?
Yeah, so when I was in the army, there was like a pretty big break because I was not around any of that stuff anymore. But when I was in Afghanistan, I started like an electronic, like it was like a dark electronic project. The sound is kind of popular more in like Europe. But I had listened to, I guess what you would call industrial music in layman's terms. But I was working with a girl at the time. I started this project with her called Nexium. And we made I recorded the first track. This kind of, again, lots of in-betweens, but the last 2 months of my deployment, This was like during the winter, and I was in RC East. So if you're familiar with Afghanistan, if you've had multiple deployments to Afghanistan, RC East occupied um, the main battalion was up at battalion headquarters was in Gardez. That was the FOB that it was at. So I'm trying to think. Paktia province was the name of the province that we were. That was like our AO. So I got sent up there the last like 2 months because they needed a competent RTO, radio telephone operator. That was like pretty much what I handled at a platoon level for a lot of patrols and shit. So they needed a guy that was like, you know, like Johnny on the spot with it. So they were like, hey, you're going to go up there. And originally the assignment was for 2 weeks. And where we were at was like, there was hella snow. And yeah, air was red when I was supposed to go back for like a long time. So pretty much I just never went back. Like I just stayed there the last 60 days. And yeah, so I had a lot of free time. I was working 12 on, 12 off outside in like this huge fucking battalion talk. And yeah, like I said, nothing but time. So I would like get off shift, go to the gym, and like go back to like I actually had my own little room, which was kind of sick. But so
you had your own chew.
Yeah. No, it was sick. There was like a bunch of officers and shit in there mainly too. So, and they all worked nights. So I would get off because I would get off at like 6 o'clock, hit the gym, get some chow from the chow hall, and freaking be back in my room by like 8. And I would just like write some lyrics. And like I bought like a little setup off of Amazon. Just a shit little setup basically. And I recorded the very first song of that project in my little room that I had.
In your tan t-shirt, your fucking BDU.
Oh yeah. I mean, probably like wearing army shorts or something like that. Yeah. Most likely.
In your reflective belt.
Yeah, no, we didn't have all that on this FOB. Wasn't necessary, but yeah. So, and so I carried on that project after I got back for like 3 additional years. So I actually basically had the project like towards right before I got out. I got out in 2015. Released the first album for that project in like 2016, and then my bandmate died of a drug overdose. So when she passed away, like it was towards the end of 2016, and I hadn't used my GI Bill yet, and I was working at a comic book shop out here, like in Greater Atlanta, in a city called Duluth. And I was like, I think I'm going to go to school, like for music. And
at least you did it smart.
Yeah. So like I literally filled out the enrollment sheet like online at my work while I was working one night. And I was like, I think I'm going to go for it.
Where'd you go?
The Atlanta Institute of Music.
Okay.
I graduated twice from that school. Burned the entire GI Bill. Just burned the whole thing. I went to 2 different programs there. Audio recording and audio post-production was that was a degree program. So the first one was a cert, and then I went back to finish the degree because it was like
another, so you actually have a college degree.
Yeah. I mean, it's an associate's degree for like something very specific.
Yeah. Did you learn any like music theory or anything like that, or was it all production?
Yeah, basic. I mean, they only teach you like basic music theory, like when you get there. So I'm definitely not well versed like an actual musician would be. But I mean, I definitely like the whole point of me going to that school wasn't really because I needed it, but I wanted to legitimize myself as a musician. And because like school is, I guess it's gotten over the years like less important to me, but back then I valued the education and I valued the knowledge that I didn't have. And it's like, I maybe am not like, I learn really well for me personally. I learn really well in like I guess kind of like a school type of environment. I don't really learn, like I can't really pick up on shit from like YouTube University. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not that great at like self-teaching myself a bunch of shit. But yeah, no, I mean, like it definitely helped a lot. Learning the basics so that I could like take everything with me on the outside. And like the biggest thing, I'll just end on this was, I wanted to be able to sit inside of a room with other musicians and like be able to describe and contextualize better like what I want if I'm trying to be like, if I want to direct guys and say, hey, like play this like this, you know what I mean? Like I can actually like, I know a little bit of lingo to kind of, hang with a crowd of proper musicians.
Do you what instruments do you play?
A little bit of guitar. I wouldn't even call myself a guitar player. So I'm primarily a vocalist.
Okay. I saw you in the music video. It looked like you were playing bass and singing.
Yeah, bass. Yeah, I had a bass for that. So I learned like a majority of that song enough to kind of like mime it for a music video. So yeah.
So you're in the world of metal, the bands. I was gonna ask you this as like kind of like a branding question, or like almost like you would like a business question. Like I remember following you when you made the announcement that you were kind of branding everything under Sinizter, as opposed to you had, because it seemed like at the time you had your route, which was the metal route with the band and all that stuff and the music for that, and then you also did the trap rap. The trap, is that what it's called? Trap rap?
Yeah. It's basically that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
So when did you and why did you decide to kind of like I can only imagine one dude on tour is easier to fund than 5 dudes on tour.
Yeah.
And
So
when it's your business, I'm assuming they're all 1099.
Yeah. So like my mind has changed a lot over the years. Like it used to be that I was going to make everything. And I mean, at this point I technically have, but now I am branching off. I think at the time you followed me, I don't think I had this other like full on deathcore project that I have now called Hate Within. So again, I have a lot of really crazy ideas, and thankfully I have enough people that believe in me to support these crazy ideas and are willing to like join up in these projects to compose music for them. But yeah, at the time, because I think you probably started following me in like 2023 or something, like end of 2023 ish.
Yeah, I think so.
Somewhere around there. Because I remember I was hip to you guys when you did the first that one show that got like mega canceled. You and Brent did what was the festival? Shell Shock Fest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which I think was in 2023, right? That was 2023.
No, it was 2024.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay. Oh,
yeah,
dude, I
so
keep forgetting we're in 2026. Fuck. Okay, yeah, it was 2024. Okay, yeah. So I had just branched out like and added this whole other new metal project 2024, so almost 2 years ago now. Called Hate Within. So, but yeah, like to your question though, what made me want to just have everything under one banner, under the Sinizter banner? Was that what it was?
Yeah. I just kind of I didn't know if it was just easier, if it was smarter financially, if it was smarter like energy wise. Like, I mean, if you're all over the place, I know, like for instance, I merged, me and Mike and Justin, who's backstage right now, we own Counterculture Inc. Media.
Right.
And I own an apparel company. And I was going to events and I was like, well, I rebranded the apparel company to Counterculture Inc. And the on paper it's different, it's threads and stuff, but I was like, it's just easier the less umbrellas you have to like bring it in. So I don't know if that was the case.
So initially it was like that, and because like when I thought Hate Within was biting off way too much, and so I was like, I am gonna like bring everything back in, and like, okay, I'm gonna have everything just under the Sinizter banner from now on. But then again, like I said, my mind changes so much, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't even care about necessarily like working efficiently anymore. Like in that regard, like having too many projects or having too many brands, I guess in your case. I think depending on like, because Sinister taps into like a whole different market, which is like the trap rap scene, basically, right? But because of who I am as a metal guy, which is very unique, for like the trap rap scene, it's like it could like all of these things could all like my fan base. I don't know. They all like they probably hate each other. Some of them probably are cool with each other, but like there's like devout metalheads that love other strictly metal shit that I do that will not listen to any rap. They're like, rap is like
all somebody has to do is walk into your show and you can see the absolute
well,
wild of the different types of people listening.
I've listened to Tyler's played your music for me. That's as much as I know. So like I'm kind of like the everyman in this situation right now.
Dude, I mean, honestly, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's kind of like the weird beauty of it though too, is like I definitely have fans that are fucking normies. And I don't Jimmy, I don't mean that in a negative, like in a derogatory way either. I just
I was 11 Bravo too. You ain't hurting my feelings.
Yeah, but it's just like it is what it is. Like I did a feature with that's not to get too sidetracked, but because we can talk about this later. But I did a collab with in 2024 with a pretty big, like I would consider them like a A-list band. Yeah, Nothing More. And that really changed a lot for me in terms of like appeal for Sinizter specifically. And so like now I have fans that are totally like they look at what I do and they're like, you're the only artist in this genre that I know that makes this type of music. Like, and they'll try to like listen to other adjacent artists, I guess, and they'll be like, it's like too much, or I don't get it. But it's like that affiliation with Nothing More, I think, is really what attracts them to me. I think if I never had that, they would have never even listened to my music before, which sucks. But in this case, it's fine because they did find me through Nothing More, and they appreciate what I do outside of Nothing More, which is cool.
How did that collab happen? Do you personally know anybody from that camp, or are they from the Atlanta area?
No, not at all. Those guys are from Texas. And the way that happened was actually really funny. So their son plays a lot of Fortnite, a lot of video games.
Okay.
And so at the time I was making a lot of this like TikTok funk music that's like used in a lot of like gym reels and Fortnite montages and Call of Duty montages and shit. And so I have this song called One Shot, One Kill. And I guess
that's the song I was listening to.
Yeah. So, I mean, all the military guys like that. So, for obvious reasons, but, so I guess his son was like played that song a lot while he was playing Fortnite, and, told like, I guess they were looking for a collaborator to fill in for this song. And Johnny, the vocalist, had told me that, trying to remember, like basically he did something on it and he just didn't like what he did. And I was like, dude, you're like an amazing singer. What do you mean you don't like what you did? And, so yeah, I mean, as the story goes, they, Johnny messaged me directly on Instagram, which doesn't happen. He even told me, he's like, I never do that. I just so happened to like find your page and, saw what you do and, had remembered you, from our manager's son who plays your music, this song in particular. And yeah, so that was basically how that happened. He like sent me the song and I was like, you want me on this? I'm like, dude, this is like, not only is this a banger, dude, this is like an anthem right here, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh man. They are well past their due recognition. I remember that I heard them in 2016, like This Is Belast or whatever it's called. And then,
yeah.
And then, I was like, man, these guys are incredible. And they're just one of those bands that I believe the industry, I don't want to use the word shelve, but I do believe that they can pull people into the more of the limelight, more of, and those guys are finally getting the recognition, for their really just their awesome music. And they're very technical and they're very like good musicians. And they're able to also throw that into metal which is kind of hard to do because if you're too technical and you're like that good at music, sometimes it doesn't appeal. So you like getting that mix of both is perfect.
They were also my very first experience with like playing with in-ear monitors on stage. So I played with them over here at the Tabernacle in Atlanta, which is like I think it's like 1,000 cap room. But they were I think it was the first tour for the Carnal album that they had done. And they're like, oh man, you gotta come play it with us. So I like showed up, played it with them, which was a really, really cool experience. But weirdly almost nerve-wracking. And I'm not I don't get nervous easily in that, like when it comes to like stage performances, but I felt so like restricted because I'm like, I have this like in-ear monitor pack on and shit. And like usually I'm like spazzing out, going crazy. I'm like, damn, I gotta kind of be like contained because I don't want this shit to fly off and shit,
$1,000
but yeah, no, seriously. So I'm like, damn, but yeah, so it was like my performance for that was like very concentrated and focused, which for better or for worse, but
oh dude, it's great. You've mastered the art of performance because we talked to Waylon Revis from A Killer's Confession, and we were just trying to like, we're as outsiders looking in, like we're looking at you're Scott, just having a conversation, but Sinizter on stage is fucking wild. Like you have you have veins in your head, right? That pretty much stay pumping for about an hour.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I never used to when I was younger. I think because I like when I first got out of the army, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was fat. Yeah, I was fat. I went through a fat boy phase. Terrible. And so like, but I was doing Sinizter though in like 2017, and I still had that weight. And when I was doing the yell thing, I didn't really notice it much. But now in recent years that I've like cut down a lot of weight, now I see it in like the side of my head and shit, and like my neck and shit.
So I know when we went and saw you, you had been embraced by the Juggalo culture with
the Juggalo community. Yep. They're in here right now.
Ouija Mac is who we saw you with. Yep. That was to be honest with you, I was a metalhead growing up. Never really had much engagements with Juggalos, and so they're really nice people. I've never came in contact with a Juggalo. I don't mean to sound like they're like an alien, but like they're very proud. They're very, very proud. I don't honestly, to be honest with you, dude, I don't want to call it a demographic, but I don't know of a category of people who are more proud and less embarrassed isn't the word, but less timid about what they represent. And they're very, very proud of it.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. And that's been a thing. Oh, man, I'm going to butcher this, but probably since like the 90s, I think whenever ICP was in Insane Clown Posse, for anyone who doesn't know, were around in like the early 90s. And like, I think the Juggalo thing got started sometime around then. And they've been doing the gathering of the Juggalos since 2000, I think, or like maybe 98 or something like that. But I got to play that too. And that was like the culmination.
That's the Super Bowl.
Pretty much. It really, for that. Yeah, it definitely is. But yeah, it's, I think honestly, you know what? I don't know if, cause Waylon is in, or was in Mushroom Head at one point, right? I don't know who they got now.
Same type of,
dude, Mushroom Head has like a long history with performing at the Gathering, and they're like pretty well liked. Yeah. In the Juggalo world. Yeah. They're like a pretty big, or they were at least.
Waylon was in Mushroom Head, I think, for 11 years.
Yeah.
And they also have a very, very, very like cult following. I think they're out of Cleveland. So, but yeah, man, I just thought it was super interesting. We deal with the same type of thing on our show, and I'll let these guys speak on a little bit. But the constitutionalism versus law enforcement, and we can kind of get into what's going on in today's world.
Ooh, buddy.
We definitely want your opinion on it because it is touchy. So that we say it all the time. We are not for one or the other. We might laugh at some people doing dumb things like picking up flashbangs because I don't know why in any situation you would do that. But you know,
dude,
at the end of the day,
somebody throw a grenade at you, don't pick it up. I mean, how hard is that?
Or be quicker. Got to be quicker.
Yeah, be fast.
I'll when I say this, it'll segue into what you guys are or this whole geopolitical conversation. But post Charlie Kirk shooting, that was the moment, because like I had already kind of been on the conspiracy tip for a while, but like when that happened, I was like, something's going on. And it wasn't because I necessarily like was a big Charlie Kirk fan. Like my extent of like knowing who Charlie Kirk was, and granted, I disagreed with him on a lot of stuff. But my wife and I had watched, you guys know that YouTube channel Jubilee, where they do like the debates and shit. It's like called Surrounded. And it's like one guy with like a bunch of crazy opinions and like debating everybody who has the opposite opinion type shit. So he had one on there, and that was like my first exposure to him. Sometime like I think it was like after I got off the Ouija Mac tour. But so we sat and watched that. Like I said, definitely did not agree with all the points that he had. We were like, because some of it's pretty jarring. But in retrospect, after he got killed, what I went back and realized about him when I started watching some of the clips and like that specific Jubilee interview was that some of the stuff he was saying was like fucking insane. And one thing in particular, about like some girl asked them, like, you know, if your daughter had like an R-word baby, like would you still force her to give birth to it? Cause he's a pro-lifer. And he was like, yeah, I would. And it's like, okay, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, fuck him for that. And it's like, in real life, would he actually do it? I mean, we'll never know, but like, would any reasonable person let their, force their daughter to do that? Probably not.
Well, and I love the division.
Probably be understanding about it.
I love the division in our society right now, because that is something that's brought up in every debate. I'm pro-life, you are pro-abortion, right? Okay, we're having a debate about it, and then it gets brought up. Well, what about a baby that came from the R word? Yeah. How many times? I mean, on one hand, does anybody know? No one knows that anybody that's happened to statistically has it happened. Absolutely, probably, right? But now we got to go into proving that it happened that way. First off, you got to prove rape. That's hard enough. I mean, the victims that go through that are traumatized already. Then you got to go through the court process, ruling. Then you got to go through. But anyway, so an outlier like that is something that we'll sit there and debate on and hate each other over it. Like, let's all agree. Okay, fine. You know what? When that case comes up, we'll visit that particular case. Yeah. Let's talk in generalities.
Well, one thing, the last thing I wanted to say just about that specific, or him specifically, was that I realized that I'm like, you know what? I definitely don't agree with that sentiment, but what I respect is the consistency, because even if he didn't believe that, and even if he wouldn't actually do that, in the moment, in the heat of the moment, he didn't bend, and he was like, yeah, I would. And it's like, I respect it. I respect the consistency.
A lot like you don't, let's say people out there hate Trump. They got to respect his game, dude. He'll go out. What he said when he made fun of John McCain, and everybody's like, whoa, that's too far. When he goes, well, he's the one that got captured.
Like, oh,
God.
Well, what's funny, dude, is my grandpa will tell you that John McCain got himself shot down. So and they flew together. So
yeah. I mean, when it comes to, I guess, well, I don't know. What do you guys want to segue into with this?
Really, just whatever, like I was saying, it could go anywhere. Well, I was trying to relate to when you talk like you have an audience, you're entertaining, right? You love them all, you need them all. You're trying to build a community, but there's so many different people in there, and then you bring up one thing, you put out one single, something, do one collab, half of the people are like, and that's kind of where we stand. We're like, Mike is a huge constitutionalist. I'm a huge constitutionalist. Jimmy's a huge constitutionalist, but we're also pro law and order to maintain our country. So you have very, 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 very opinionated and vocal ICE supporters, right? Like, don't fuck with law enforcement. Don't get in their way. You won't get hurt. Let them do their job. And then you have the constitutionalists that support us and are like, well, hold on. At what point is this tyranny? And we just try to make it like a conversation where everybody can kind of like melt into it and have debates and have opinions. But it does, like, the polarizing supporters, I guess, it's challenging to grow, to make it a community. So you're taking two separate groups and you're trying to make it one group under your support system. And it is a challenging thing to do.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I mean, even like, I remember, I think you and I had briefly talked, this ties in with kind of what you're saying, about playing Shell Shock Fest. If you like, back when you guys thought you were going to do a second one, you're like, yeah, would you be down to play it? And I was like, oh yeah, dude, for sure. But you were like, look, I'll give you the heads up. We are a little controversial after the first one. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like,
I had, what happened with that was it was a hardcore band from the mid 2000s called Evergreen Terrace. They and they are all our age now. They're all in their 40s. They're all huge liberal agenda people. Like, I'm talking like as liberal as it gets. And they're very anti-law enforcement, but because it wasn't on the stage that it was on in social media and pop culture, they were okay with doing a PTSD charity event for first responders and veterans, right? That's where I think everybody could get on the same page. Like, of course, I don't like this and I don't like that and I don't like this, but the people that are stuck doing it, that suffer from PTSD, they do need support. So we all could get on the same page with that. And then, long story short, somehow Kyle Rittenhouse ended up in the mix as a guest. I let people run that page and run that event that had no fucking experience doing it. And I don't know how that slipped through the cracks of, let's bring in politics into this. This will really help.
Yeah.
So as soon as that got leaked, it was all on, full blown. The whole hardcore scene was fucking, as Rob says, coming down our throats. And then I'm telling you, bro, I know how this works. I've been under investigation, but I've been in investigations. And it was offloaded to Antifa to keep fighting the fight. Then the horde really came. First off, it was just hardcore people that was like, get Kyle Rittenhouse out of our scene, you fucking assholes. That was the first initial push. Then the horde of people that had no interest in hardcore music were destroying us, ratioing us on Instagram, flooding everybody, calling everybody involved, calling every sponsor they have, calling everybody's place of business. Like, it was, and so I started looking at these people, they're all Antifa. I'm like, well, that's fucking strange that it was pretty much offloaded to Antifa.
That kind of goes with what you just said with Charlie Kirk. And my point is, regardless if you agree with him or not, he gave you an opportunity to talk very peacefully. He let you say your absolute anti his belief. He debated it with you and he set the microphone down and off you went. And in this scenario, like, that shows you bring in one little thing about politics and then some people will try to ruin your life, sabotage you, and create so many problems for you. That is where I agree. That's where it's wrong to me. And that's kind of where I stand with ICE and impeding the federal agents. You can't create a scenario that disrupts law and order and chaos. And like Antifa doing that to that concert venue, the outcome was supposed to be good for a lot of people, regardless of their political beliefs. And that's where the politics kills good things.
Yeah. I actually, on that note, it's really hard to live in the United States right now, though, and not have some sort of political opinion, though.
Yeah,
that's fair.
We are in a very politically charged country. It's just, and I think we always have been, whether people want to like accept it or not. The U.S. is always going through some political bullshit. There's never been a time that I can think of recently where we haven't been. So yeah, it's really hard not to have any sort of political opinion. I think it's also really hard to always remain apolitical on every single subject, you know, because everybody has opinions. But so, which is, I mean, that's something I try to do my best. And I think I do a pretty good job at it. It's not that I'm like trying to like, I never want to be one of those people that's like, oh yeah, I don't want to tell my, or talk about my, like, you know, my stance on this or whatever. But a lot of times, genuinely, I have never paid attention to geopolitics as much as I have within the last like 4 or 5 months. Like I've always just been like focused on what I'm doing, trying to be successful. So, yeah.
You know, it's when you influence people. It's when you influence people. I'm gonna my best example, and I hate talking about my family. I hope they don't watch. I had a family member that raised their child to be super far left. Like everything from very young age was no Republicans, no. When I raised my 4 children, they heard my version of what I believed in. At no point did I ever try to convince them, change them, tell them they should think a certain way. And I think they all 4 grow up very, very right down the middle. They agree with some things on the left. They agree with some things on the right. But when you take someone's brain out of it and you raise them or guide them to be a certain way, and I think that's what we're seeing in today's world, is like you can't like even a band. You can't like a band that would play at a military PTSD event because that's too far right. Now we hate them. Like you have to operate somewhere down the middle of like, you know, you have to be able to hear both sides of the story and make your own non-violent way of living in that sphere and not go crazy on either side. And I believe both sides have absolute maniacs on both sides. I'm not taking a side, but there are psychopaths on both sides of this argument. And somewhere in the middle, I keep saying this, is all of us just trying to get by, man, trying to be cool with everybody, trying to have a good time, trying to raise money, trying to do a business. And unfortunately, you can be canceled or just completely shit on the rest of your life for going too far in one direction.
Dude, like even to fuck. Now this is it's leaving me now. Tyler, you brought up something when the podcast first started. Now I can't even remember what it was.
I'm going to give you some time to think about it.
Yeah.
I got to read a quick note from one of our sponsors. We've partnered with American Financing once before, but let's be honest, the math just isn't adding up lately. Between the grocery store and the skyrocketing insurance premiums, even with a steady job, more families are being forced to rely on high-interest credit cards to cover expenses. I know that. I just got myself out of it. Trust me. If you're a homeowner caught in that cycle, carrying balances with interest rates in the 20s or even 30s, it's time to get some relief. Right now, mortgage rates are at a 3-year low, and my friends at American Financing are helping homeowners pay off that high debt at rates in the low 5s. They're salary-based mortgage consultants, keyword, salary-based, meaning they don't get a commission. Don't just push loans. They build exit strategies from debt. On average, they're saving customers $800 a month. That's on average. That's 2 car payments a month that they are saving people. Plus, if you start today, you may even delay the next 2 mortgage payments. There are no upfront fees or obligations to find out how much you can save. America's home for home loans is American Financing. So call 8666. Whoa. Don't do that.
Sixes. Way too many.
Whoa. Call 866-890-8585. That's 866-890-8585 for more details, or go to americanfinancing.net/antihero to learn more. So,
hey, did you see that? You see Dylan's in the chat like, hey, this is no joke.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I'm telling you, get out, and saving that much money a month is a game changer. 2 car payments a month. I mean, that $800 a month. I fantasize about having a Hellcat. It's never going to happen because I don't have $800 to $1,200 a month. But yeah, that's a lot of money. Get yourself squared away.
It's a lot of scratch offs for me.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
and also, And GhostBed, go to ghostbed.com/anti-hero, save 10% on their already ridiculously low prices, pillowcases, mattress toppers, cooling patented technology sheets, and their award-winning mattresses, 60,000 plus 5-star rating and reviews, in-house customer service, all handcrafted here in America and Canada. But America and Canada, free shipping and returns, and they're big supporters of ours, and they have been for a long time. So if you need to replace any bedding in the bedroom, go to ghostbed.com/anti-hero. Save 10%. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, Scott. That way everybody can go pee and heat up their coffee. And then we're going to get right back. Do you remember what you were going to say?
I do. I'll probably have to write it down.
Write it down.
We're going to take a break. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Over a century ago in 1910, the Flexner Report, funded by John D. Rockefeller and the Carnegie Foundation, re-engineered medical education from a holistic, whole-body approach, which appropriately treated the body as an interconnected system, to a compartmentalized approach under the guise of specialized medicine. They shut down or consolidated medical schools, marginalized naturopathic, homeopathic, and chiropractic medicine, replacing them with symptom management and synthetic drugs. Allopathy is a marketing strategy rooted in fear and manipulated science. This philosophy carried into veterinary medicine, resulting in over-vaccination, unnecessary surgeries, and manufactured food, just like they did for people. They call it care, but it's predatory and based in profitability. The truth? Toxicity, compromised immunity, and chronic inflammation. They're not fate. They're engineered. And so is your power to undo them. We built 3 targeted formulas to return the body to homeostasis, for pets and people, to detox, defend, and restore. We are the correction to decades of corruption. We are vengeance.
We're back.
Shirt change.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hell yeah, dude, nice shirts.
I saved it for the second half. I saved it for the second half.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I won up Mike. And he was like, "Damn it!"
No, I was gonna. I had a plan. I was thinking about I'm gonna start changing every week at the break. So today was the first day.
What I really wanted to do, which we didn't get to, is I wanted to paint our face like black metal musicians.
Oh,
when you show up, like, what the hell are these guys doing?
I'm gonna start painting my face. It'd be more like the Joker.
Don't. You don't have to do that. But yeah, no. No. So what I was gonna say before I forget again, was hold on. Now I gotta look at my notes. Almost forgot. Oh, dude. Yeah. At the beginning of the interview, when you mentioned, Tyler, about not being open about being prior service. Yeah. I own it, I guess, like it's in my caption in my bio, but I've had a lot of people give me shit for that. Like on both sides, both ex-military guys will give me shit for it, and people who just fucking, I don't know, hate military and law enforcement.
Hate America.
That too. The minute they find out, oh, you're ex-military. Oh, so you're right wing, huh?
You're one of them.
Whoa. Chill. Like all these presumptive, fucking preconceived notions, I guess.
Well, what the military did help me do was help me learn how to strategize, brand, work hard, have a mission set, like all these great things that I implement into the things that I want to do. Yeah, got a little bit of training from the military.
Yeah,
I mean, the military also, by the way, gives you a really good cross section of America. So this motley crew of knuckleheads that are every color under the sun and every race or religion under the sun that you hang out with, that are like your bros. Like, I don't know how that makes you right wing. I think if anything, it makes you more middle of the road, because you get more of an understanding of people, because you don't have a fucking choice. You got to be with this guy. He's in the platoon.
Yeah. You know, what's funny? I think it's just like, for some reason, people just associate either the military and law enforcement, or like the military with the government, and think like, oh, well, you guys gotta, if they tell you to go shoot a bunch of civilians, that's what you gotta go do. You're just following. Or I don't know what goes through people's fucking brains.
Yeah,
but
we argue that point all the time.
Yeah. No, 100%. But yeah, no, people are people are stupid. But yeah, I deal with that still to this day often. Like I said, on both sides. Like I get active duty guys that'll be like, oh, man, you fucking piece of shit, like fucking, you know, or like there's a lot of people that are like, because I guess I don't know, maybe I'm not your typical infantry guy. Like I don't have the infantry look, you know, I'm not like either.
I don't know, dude. No, I think like looking at you on
do
camera,
now.
you look like Jeff Strucker to me.
You do now, but I want to know, Scott.
Yeah.
When are we getting this back? When are
Dude,
people gonna get this haircut?
Never, man. Never. Yeah,
I
dude.
really
You know, funny story real quick. The guy who took that photo is a former Army Ranger.
Really?
Yeah. He actually shot 2 of my music videos too. But yeah, I did a number of photo shoots with that guy. Yeah, his name is also Brent. But yeah, him and another guy named Mike, they used to be out here in Georgia. They've relocated elsewhere now, but yeah, I used to shoot a lot with those guys.
Yeah. So one thing that we kind of resonated together is, you know, you said your dad was retired law enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same here. And I had the same thing. We had the same path, dude. My dad was a cop. It's really all I knew. So I'm just going to use words. So nobody freak out. I am prone to more, what would you, conservative style values because of my dad being a cop. He retired.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the Bush Cheney stickers on his, you know, 2002 Tahoe, you know, like Bush is going to save the world from the evil. And I was always in bands and I was always in a crowd of people that weren't that. And I was the odd man out. I remember my going away party for the band, you know, they were like, oh, Tyler's going to fight for fucking Bush. You know, we're going to miss him. And, you know, and I'm like, I had no idea what they were talking about. I'm like, what's wrong with Bush? I'm just joining the military. Like, going to fight these bad guys in Iraq.
Well, and that's a whole, like, obviously in retrospect, you know, that's a whole different thing now. But yeah, like, I guess it's not that I like care one way or another if people like know that about like my dad. Because the thing is like, I guess to preface this, like my dad, yes, my dad is a retired police officer, but he worked in an area where there was crime, like actual crime, you know, so a lot of like people that are, I don't know, living in the suburbs where there's like petty theft or like, you know, not a lot of crime. People are getting arrested for like, you know, smoking weed or something like that, you know. Like, I don't think my dad was really doing stuff like that. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee you, I know for a fact he was not doing stuff like that. He was actually like chasing real crime. But
so you taught Tyler how to do that. Tyler doesn't know.
Shut up, Mike.
But yeah, no, I mean, I forgot where I was going with that.
Oh, my bad.
Dude,
But,
well, I mean, just politics and everything else, right?
Well, like you said, joining the army, I joined, I believe, under Clinton, and like I didn't even think
you did join under Clinton.
I didn't think about who the president was. I didn't care. Like it didn't matter. It was a Democrat or like I was just going to do, like Tyler said, I was going to do what I thought was the right thing to do, which was defend the country and stand up for America. So it didn't matter. I didn't care. Nobody talked about politics. Nobody said a word about the president. Nobody talked about, it was about America. It was about, you know, camaraderie, doing the right thing. And it's different.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I don't mean to interject, but I remember now. Sorry. So, yeah, no, my dad never like forced any, he never forced like political opinions onto me. Like all of everything that I believe in now, and him and I differ a lot. Like, he calls me nowadays and we're just fighting the whole time. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like I'm trying to like get him to see things like from the lens that I'm seeing it under now, because I'm, you know, I don't really know how to put it without sounding a certain way, but I am very obviously like conspiracy oriented now. I'll just say that's putting it very lightly. But
so what?
Yeah.
What got you going down the conspiracy road?
Well,
do you believe in the moon landing?
He tried to cook 6 million pizzas
No.
and it didn't work.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's. I don't have a juice box within arm's reach, but
You're in good company, my friend.
But here's
I
the thing.
think,
Here's the thing.
dude, if
Here's
you're
the
not
thing.
asking questions, if you're not asking questions and then you get shunned for asking questions, that's the problem.
So, and it's not one of those things where it's like, you know, I'm how do I say this? I have to tiptoe around this because I don't, you know, now the
You don't have
the
to.
whole
You don't really have to.
well,
but-
yeah, but the whole new thing now is like I told my Discord, I was like, hey, this is I used to hold I mean, I still hold really conservative values, but you can hold conservative values and be a Democrat. Like conservative just means tradition. Conservative does not mean it's not a political alignment, right? Yeah. But a lot of people get that mixed up. So just to clarify that. So I am very conservative. I grew up that way and I still maintain that. I voted for the first time this year. I'm part of the crowd that is like the Jake Shields, where I'm like, fuck, I kind of regret that. But that's just me.
I saw he was I mad respect for Jake Shields for breaking that barrier. I believe, I mean, we have to phrase this because I don't want people, as soon as they hear words that go, they feel very opinionated. He's very opinionated about certain things, and to have the balls to give an opinion. I might not even agree with him, but I really respect people that believe in something and they go and say it, and they make people question things.
Yeah, at this point with because I don't know if I'm really like, I don't think Sinizter is really getting any bigger in that sense, but I think I can be open about it, I guess. And I mean, like I said, my Discord kind of generally knows where I stand. I've been open about it with at least my Discord crowd on that subject. Like we literally have a little channel in my Discord called New World Order. So it's just all conspiratorial shit. No one really ever posting there anymore. But we were for like a week where it was just craziness. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody's pretty hip to.
Okay, wait. Can you guys see that?
Yeah,
I can hear it, but it's not me.
It's the Mossad. They're in the chat. But
here, I'm gonna.
Dude, don't even scare me like that, man. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had that before.
Here, I'll mute myself.
I just muted myself.
All right. So what we're gonna do is process of elimination. We're gonna mute.
It's Tyler. Tyler's vibrator's out. Tyler's got the pocket pussy.
Damn.
I know what it is. It's the fan in the computer.
Tyler's got the thing. It's that second phone he carries around.
So, dude. So, like, I mean, first of all, it really sucks that I can tell, like, you're kind of not, you're very careful about how you say what you say.
You have to.
And
he has to.
And you have to be, right? It sucks that you have to be, but you make a valid point, which is that the world that you live in the United States, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, no, you have to have an opinion for sure.
Yeah,
it's like it's impossible to not have some sort of opinion on what is currently going on. And anybody who tells you that, like, because they're trying to play it safe, anybody who tells you that they don't have an opinion is lying.
No, I mean, I think if you were going to give this show a color code, we would be like reddish purple, because there's a lot of like things that we look at. Yeah. That I mean, dude, these two dudes were cops. I grew up, my granddad was fucking politically right of a goddamn Attila the Hun.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how I grew up. You know, and I came from a military family. So, but here we just kind of do whatever the fuck we want. It really, really sucks that you are in a position where because of life, you've got to be very careful.
I'll say this, and maybe this will blow the door open for more elaborate conversation on this. But I have recently transcended the whole right versus left. And for me, democracy is an illusion. Democracy is an illusion. I think it's a lie. I think it's all social construct to get people to stay divided. I mean, how can,
I think you're with the right group.
How can we unite against the hidden hand, the powers that be, if everyone is so concerned about trivial shit, right versus left?
Here, I'm going to give you my spiel. I mean, we all, you know, you and me and Tyler, we fought in the same war, right? Is there a group of people that you know of that benefited most from the war in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Is it America?
No.
Is it the Iraqis or the Afghans?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do they seem to have a lot of American equipment?
100%. Yeah, no, look, so America is a completely lobbied, like, for lack of better words, straight up hoed out country. Like, we are getting hoed out. And yeah, it's apparent, it's mainstream. Every political commentator is talking about it. It's impossible not to hear about it. I don't even think it's a conspiracy anymore. I just kind of call myself that because people like labels. I personally don't. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if this is really going to ruffle feathers with viewers or even with you guys, but I don't really believe in voting anymore. Like, that was the first and last time I will ever vote, because I feel like it doesn't matter.
I'm not trying to advocate for one side or the other, but I mean, if you could try and tell me that Biden won the election against Trump, that's the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my life. They actually have video footage of people throwing away voting ballots. Like, that's they try to explain. There's a reason why they don't explain the electoral college to you when you're a young person in school, is because even a young kid would go, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think like I said, I think the whole idea of democracy sounds good on paper, but like I said, there's that magical hidden hand.
I mean, at the risk of being the nerd that I am, we're not a democracy. We never were. A democracy, by definition,
constitutional republic.
A democracy is the wolves voting on which sheep to eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So we were supposed to be a constitutional republic by nature, and that's really what we lament now that we're not, because of what you already said, which is that we have been lobbied into oblivion by special action groups, the biggest of which resides in a country in the Middle East that has a vested interest in us doing military operations around the world, which, again, but you were a grunt, so you got your crossed rifles and your blue cord just like I did. Do you regret being an infantryman?
That's a question that I've had to ask myself, and I've had a couple conversations with some guys that I served with, and we were basically like reminiscing about those days and the reason why we joined and all that stuff. And like, man, I'll never say that I regret it, because I learned a lot. Like, you can't what I learned in there can't be bought. You know what I mean? And like the life lessons too. And I think being deployed to a foreign country, whether you're in combat or out of combat, you just get to see stuff for what it really is instead of propaganda. You know what I mean? And granted, I was young, so I didn't really know how to process a lot of that stuff until now. I'm like, well into my 30s. But do I regret it? No. But would I do it again? No.
Let me say it a different way. I mean, and because we had this conversation yesterday, and I'm curious how you feel, and you're not gonna, I'm not gonna fucking throw shade at you if you don't. Are you proud of being a grunt? Like, when you walk through,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, without a doubt. Like, dude, I got my blue cord in my windshield mirror right now.
That's my point.
Yeah, I go everywhere with that fucking thing.
Is that, and here's the thing, brother. like that was probably the hardest the four of us had ever worked in our life to earn something.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
point, that was the hardest thing we had done. The first really hard thing we had ever done, and we earned it. We fucking earned it.
Yeah.
And no matter how you feel about how they used us, the fact that I proved that to myself, and I'm with all these other guys who proved it too, is massive in my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, you know, it maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just romantic and, you know, I watch John Wayne movies. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that kind of is actually a thing. I mean, that's the reason why a lot of young boys even join the infantry specifically, or join the military in general, is there is this romanticization, especially in the United States, of war and like going to battle and defending your nation. And I think especially in the 90s, like at least when I was growing up, like I grew up on like Arnold Schwarzenegger, fucking Sylvester Stallone, you know? So like I grew up on I guess like masculine shit. And so naturally I just kind of gravitated towards the next masculine thing that I could do, which is become a grunt, you know? And so, yeah.
But I mean, it informs your music too, right? Because I mean, let's face it, you have a demographic for your music too.
Well,
it's not violin players.
I was going to share this. So when we were talking, it took me like 5 minutes to finally get into my computer, but it's things like this video I'm about to play. This is what being in the infantry taught me. First off, you can't quit. I mean, I remember low crawling with sand in my eyes and my mouth with my head down, pushing 5-gallon water jugs like 100 yards with grown men screaming at you. And you think, I'm going to die. I'm going to die right here. And it's the worst thing imaginable. But it's things like this video right here.
Hey, don't touch it. Let's go, man. Yeah. Yeah. Pick it up. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. 3 minutes. Let's go. That's what we do. You got this. Let's go. Get across the line. Let's go. Three more teams. Let's go, man. Let's go. Come on. Get across that. Come across. Get over there. Keep going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So,
people probably
that video to me says so much. I mean, just like the first off, that guy's running off gross motor skills and like 1% of his body, like that. The way his hands were, he couldn't even move his hands like this. He's sucking, and everybody is surrounding him and pushing him. There's not 1 ounce in that video is there some kind of person saying you can give up, you can do a little bit less. It is, you will fucking go until you die, and then we will put an IV in you, and then we will get you across that finish line. And I really feel like if you take that video, as harsh and as extreme as that might be to somebody that is not in the military, never won, it's that mindset that they teach you that stuff. And
they said, don't touch him. Don't touch him. He's going to fucking do it himself. He's going to figure it out. He's going to get in his brain, and he's going to get it done. And that is a great video to sum up, you know, why wouldn't you want a lot of people walking around with the ability to dig that deep and you know, cross the line.
And it informs your music now, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. And it's actually it's kind of funny because I have a lot of obviously a lot of fans that would never serve, could never even like think about even doing anything like that. But I've also, no bullshit, I've had fans enlist because of me. Like they're like, dude, you are the reason why I'm going to a recruiter and enlisting. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Obviously I think I don't know if my opinion really changes nowadays on that, just because of, you know, geopolitical stuff. I think if you're willing to be brave enough to, you know, do something like that, I guess step up and serve and say that you will, I think that says a lot about your character in general. And I think that there still is a lot of useful tools for life that you can get out of serving, especially if you're in the Army infantry.
Yeah, I did. My wife says this to me all the time. She says, I wish you were as loyal to a lot of other things as you were to your buddies in the infantry. Because when I meet an infantryman, I'm like, okay, you're fuck everything else. You're a grunt.
Yeah.
You're a grunt like me. And because there's so few of us out there,
Yeah.
that I sort of look at it as this, like what Mike, to Mike's point, like you proved you could do this just like me. Everything else aside, when you go be an infantryman, you are already thinking about like, I'm gonna have to go down range. I'm gonna have to fucking think about killing people. You have to mentally put yourself in that headspace of not maybe, and Mike will tell you, like, he criticizes the cops that don't put themselves in that mindset. You don't have the choice as an infantryman. You have to think
you
about,
have to get there, and what that does
Yeah.
the rest of your life. Even if you come off track and you fall, you get down, you always have that to remember. Like I'm thinking about it right now. I'm fucking banged up. When I see that video, it's like it makes me angry that I can't go out and make myself suffer like that right now due to injury.
Yeah.
But in my heart and soul, even at almost 50, it's like I know I can do that. You take me right now, flick my knee, put me back out there. My mind will not let me quit. Like I will die before I quit. And that mindset to have, with the right objective, to have a bunch of people walking around with that ability to dig deep and have their mind in that place is good for society, and it's good for the country. But when it gets used to do bad things, it's just as bad. It could go the wrong way.
And Scott, just like that. How many fucking opportunities have been shut right in your face as an entrepreneur, as an artist, as somebody that the only person that is 100% making sure it works is you. There's nobody else. Nobody owns your business. You're not a contracted talent. It is you and you only. And it's just like, it's that mentality. Like how many fucking times in this podcast alone has opportunities closed, has shit really hit the fan? It was, it was uphill battles, and that never quit. It sounds so corny, but that never quit mentality, you either have to fire me or kill me. And it really reflects on anything you do in life.
What I would almost compare, and this is going to be a crazy comparison, but and not many people are really going to be able to relate. But I will say this: every time I go on tour, it almost, there's an aspect of it that reminds me of deployment, and the reason being primarily is because, like, everyone thinks that touring is this like amazing thing. You get to go and, see the United States, and it's this great thing. And it's like, yeah, but you know what? I'm rushing everywhere I go. I don't have time to sit and enjoy whatever this state has to offer. I see probably the shittiest part of it, wherever the venue is. And it's honestly
the railroad tracks outside of the outskirts of downtown.
Dude, literally. And honestly, like, the truth about touring is like, the biggest payoff is every night being able to perform for the fans and the crowds and all that shit. But dude, getting there and during the day, it sucks. It fucking sucks. There's nothing amazing about it. It sucks. You're sleep deprived. Like, depending on the time of year, sometimes it's fucking freezing in certain parts of the US, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to sit there and endure, and it sucks. And this last tour, actually, that I was on with Ouija Mac was a summer tour. I don't really mind the heat so much, but I was a 2-man crew. Like, I've never toured 2-man. And so I had to drive, perform, like, and all this stuff sounds like really, oh, why are you complaining about that? But it's like, dude, it's performing for 30 minutes. It's a lot. And then, like, getting off stage, I don't have a tour manager, so I'm the one who has to go, and I gotta settle up every night and make sure I get paid and make sure to remember that I get paid, because sometimes that's been a thing where I'm like, oh man, I totally forgot to collect my check for the night because I'm so fucking tired after, like, 10 or 15 shows deep.
The importance of that 30 minutes. If you don't bang that 30 minutes, the whole fucking night is pointless. I'm not trying to speak for you, but I'm like talking like anytime I go on a podcast or anytime we go live, we have X amount of time to perform the best we can. If we just go on and do it, we're wasting our fucking time.
Yeah.
We're wasting our time. We're not improving any. We're not like, you have to go and you have to perform and you have to capture X percentage of people as supporters, listeners, and you only get 30 minutes, no matter how fucking stressful. And me and Mike have done not extensively touring like you, but I mean, we've been on road trips, and by the end of the fucking road trip, but we're fucking done, dude. No showers, fucking eating like shit, fucking stressful. Everything at home still going. You're not there, and it's it's a nightmare.
You know, it's funny. I was on a tour in 2023 with a different artist where I got to be on. It was called a bandwagon. They basically have like 8 bunks on either side, or total rather. And I thought that tour sleep wise was fine because like you get to sleep en route, but the shower situation, oh my God, fucking sucked, dude. And then the other thing that sucked was
you didn't shower on deployment. That sucks, bro.
Well, yeah, I know, right? The laundry situation on that tour was rough too, because I had to overpack for that tour, probably like 20 days worth of clothing, just because like I don't know when we're gonna like have time to stop at a laundromat or something. Granted, we had like days off, and you know there were times where we were able to stop at like a place that actually had, you know.
Oh, I remember that, dude. That's like fucking offloading. PX, there's a PX right there.
Bucky's. Here comes Bucky's.
Oh,
yeah,
Bucky's is coming.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's the whole big thing now is Bucky's. But
I can definitely see the relation of touring and being on deployment, because on deployment, every time there's a second of possible comfort or something that you haven't had in weeks, you'll almost like risk the risk to getting that is like, I'll risk this. Like, yeah.
And you know, the other thing too, that these are all just like funny little things. Fuck, dude, I'm spacing right now, man. I don't know what the fuck is
well, you know what? No. Scott, you're not spacing out. Yeah. What you're doing right now is you're going back in your mind, and you're thinking about things, and you're thinking about deployment, you're thinking about touring, and you're not spacing out.
Yeah, it's a lot all at once to have to like dig through my brain and like
man,
get through this, dude. It's
I'm right there with you, because as you're talking, I'm sitting here going back in my mind about like, fuck, I remember that.
What's what do you have any new tours? And by the way, I put a comment for people at 12:45. I really want to open kind of like opportunities for people to ask you questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody that wants to ask you anything. But how easy is it to get a tour versus, or is it hard? And what are the planning and logistics? And what is something that you're like, what makes it worth going on a tour? Like if it's presented or the opportunities there, what are some things you consider before saying yes to it?
That's a great question.
So the first part, is it hard? It depends on the genre, really. Because it can be easy. I think it's easy for like bands to go on tour, usually. Even like, because I have a buddy of mine from out here, him and his band, they tour like probably more often than I do. Granted, they're smaller tours, shorter runs, and probably I don't think to as many people. But I mean, I think it's easier just because there's other active bands that want to tour, and a lot of people know a lot of other people in different states. So it's, you know, friends of friends of friends are coming out to these really, really underground shows. So, but I think also if you have like a booking agent, this is like the biggest thing, regardless of the genre. If you have a booking agent, it can be easier, depending on the agent that you're with. I had an agent. I don't have a US agent anymore. But last year I did for that tour that I did with Ouija Mac. We were under the same agency. So that agency got to double dip. But it's pretty for my genre, it's hard because you definitely have to know people. And in this trap rap sort of genre, obviously it's kind of falling in popularity right now because of the way social media is. Everything's like sort of niche related now, niche related content pushing. So it's really, really hard now to actually go on a successful tour where there's going to be packed out shows like the one I did with Ouija Mac. A lot of that is just attributed to he's just that big, and the Juggalo community is really just that strong for him. So shout out to him for that, for bringing me on. I have never toured. I've never done a headliner myself yet. I've done headliners out here in Atlanta. That's about, so for me to go on a headliner, difficult. But if I were to, sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting.
You're good. You're good. Keep going.
If I were to go, like the tours I've been on have been because someone else invited me, basically. So they are kind of like, you got to know somebody.
When this last tour, the Summer in Hell tour, when you went, anytime that you are going to double down in something, you have to think. And when it was presented as when it was presented to you or invited to you, was it a quick decision, or, like, okay, if I, no matter who it is, Juggalos, whether or not you a conservative guy brings you on with a huge, massive audience, let's say like Tom McDonald, if he was cool, he's like, hey, hey, you're going to be in front of a huge crowd, right? But is it the best move for when you're done with that tour and you're back on your own? Is it the best move? What was the thought process and when you got invited on the Ouija Mac tour?
Instant. We talked about it prior to going. Yeah, we talked about it prior to even doing it. So we actually brought it to our agents, and they were like, oh yeah, it's perfect. Set the whole thing up. Yeah. Same thing with I toured with this other bigger artist named Harper in 2023, and that was like basically by invite, and a total no-brainer because I mean I was a one of three on that, so I was the opener for that tour, but he's like big enough to where that's worth it. And they were like bringing me on the bus, so a lot of like the logistical concerns of like, okay, am I going to have to rent a car for this tour and stuff like that? Like those are things that I would take into consideration. So in the case of Harper, I wasn't going to have to do any of that. It was like literally, but you're going to be the lowest paid person on this tour at $250 a night. I mean, if it's all straight profit and I get to sell merch and stuff like that, and I don't have to pay a merch guy, that's a no-brainer because it's just money. So money is kind of the common denominator here also in that sort of decision making. It's like, not just money, we'll say profitability. Because there's like for the Ouija Mac tour, I had to rent a vehicle. There was a ton of overhead costs. If I have to cover my own, hotel or something like that, like to give you, I'm just going to throw out some kind of arbitrary numbers here, but before I even left for the Ouija Mac tour, I think I spent like over $3,000 before I even left. And that's not even just like rent my car rental and hotels. Oh, I'm sorry. I think it was actually closer to like $5,000. Yeah. No, touring and this is why a lot of artists like sometimes don't even go on tour, or they'll wait a long time before they go on tour. But Ouija had to spend more than that because his overhead expenses as a headliner are way more expensive. And like the stuff he tours with, he's bringing a full crew and everything. And those people are everybody's paid, Yeah. So they have like a, daily rate, or at least like they're at least getting paid at the very least the nights that they're working. So, I mean, it's a lot. So yeah, profitability is probably like the biggest factor in, deciding whether you're going to take a tour or not. And I've definitely shot a couple down, and then I would not tour with Tom McDonald to finish that one off. The money would have to be like APAC lobbyist money for me to say yes to something like that.
Okay, so explain it to me like I'm 5. I'm the new guy here. Why would you not want to do that with that gentleman?
With Tom McDonald? Well, for starters, I think he's a grifter. And I mean, this is just like, he doesn't care about what I say. So I can say this. He doesn't care about me. I'm small. But I just think he's a grifter. I don't think he actually believes. First of all, he's Canadian. So it's like you don't even live in the United States.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's like jumping on the fucking bandwagon, like, you know.
Yeah,
That's to me, that's the other side of the spectrum. Like listening to fucking Piers
Yeah.
Morgan or Jim Carrey or somebody shit on fucking like you're not
US
from
politics.
this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like telling people from outside of the country telling us how bad our country is. Like, you're the one person I don't want to listen to. And it's the same on the other spectrum. Like telling me how great this country is. Like, I mean, I respect it. Thank you. But I mean, you were really grifting on it. Like,
yeah. And the thing is, I think a lot of his stuff, and this is really common, especially in like the rap world, from what I've seen, is it's very it's like performative, and it's like I said, it's just he's totally grifting.
Dude, there's so many of them fucking out there too.
Yeah, 100%.
I almost made a meme about it the other day. It's like, are you grifting, a thirst trap, or do we politically align?
Yeah. And like I said, I think the other thing too is once you like in recent months, like I said, I've kind of transcended the whole right versus left sort of thing. And so I definitely would not, like, he's somebody who is very, very much pushing that right wing sort of, dare I even say Fox News type of agenda. And it's like, dude, like this is corny in a way. And
corny. It is corny.
Yeah, it's super corny. And yeah, I couldn't.
He grabs the Facebook population, you know, like the demographic that still keeps Facebook the number one fucking platform out of all.
Yeah.
That's the Fox News people is like, when you can rap and just talk about, like, I don't know, it's like he's talking. It's not good, but it's playing off of people's emotions. And that's like, well, that's a good song. Like, okay.
And I mean, it's good for social media because, I mean, social media right now, especially with Instagram Reels, favors, you know, reactionary content, you know, so it's great for that. So if that's what you want to do, then more power to you. And yeah, you might make a lot of money, but it's like at what cost? You know what I mean? And for me, I'm coming back into this whole thing where I used to not be like this. Granted, if you listen to some of my music, I was talking about some very degenerate shit. But nowadays I'm coming back into artist integrity. I'm very, very much big on that. And even the stuff that I'm rapping about in my music that I'm currently about to start releasing for 2026, it is a lot more focused and conscious. Like I'm still shit talking like I usually do. That's like the Sinizter way, but it's not like, it's not the same trap rap. I got, you know, smash 3 baby mamas and, you know, fucking this dude's rapper or fucking this dude's, you know, baby mama and all that kind of ignorant shit. It's not that kind of stuff anymore, you know?
I heard that. What were the lyrics I was listening to this morning? Like, it came at you so fast, you think I'd have 8 hands or something like that.
Oh, like, dude, that's an old, my song.
That was like 7 years ago. Yeah.
I think that's called Unleashed. Yeah. But it's like a lot of the wordplay I've done over the years has like gotten progressively better. And sometimes I do try to be like tongue in cheek. I'll poke at both sides, you know? So yeah, I mean, I just try to have fun with it because I don't really believe in the whole, like, I think the world is a stage, and I think US politics has kind of just become a joke now at this point, unfortunately.
Well, if the world is a stage, then perhaps it is the artists that need to, you know, point the spotlight at it, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some.
No, go for it.
Kurt Weiss, who's when you play in the Tabernacle in Atlanta, do you make sure you have a clear exit route that places a tinderbox? I don't know what a tinderbox is, but
it's something that can burn down really fast.
Yeah, I think and it's also just like they have a ton of electronics in there and shit. Yeah, I mean, like they have like backstage. Honestly, backstage at the Tabernacle is like a fucking maze, dude. It's crazy. Like I get lost in there. Like that's how like big it is. There's like bridges that go in like different parts, different sides and sections of the like backstage area. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean there is a clear path to get out like once I'm done. So I mean there's that.
Shane, he had a couple questions. Do you have any plans to actually reach out to any particular artists for collabs this year?
No, unfortunately. Like I'm kind of just doing my own thing. I've done enough collabs over the last like this is my 9th year as Sinizter. So yeah, I'm
Do you
kind of
not
just
like
done.
them, or is it just difficult logistically? Or
That's a good question. No, it's not that I don't like them. It's I guess in rap, and this is almost exclusively a rap thing. It is it's very cutthroat, and it's not
Do that, and I gotta go back to work. And sorry,
Uh-oh.
so I'll give it back to you.
Sorry, yeah, it's super cutthroat, and not a lot of people are looking out for each other's best interests. They're usually looking out for their own interests, and a lot of people are like stepping on
Yeah.
each other. And I'm not about to be anybody's stepping stone, unless it's like something that's mutually agreed upon, like the whole like me and Ouija Mac collab situation. Like there was benefit in him on the digital side, with like Spotify and all that kind of stuff, but and like reaching a different audience like digitally. But
Yeah.
then for me, obviously it was the Juggalo community.
Yeah, the
so
exposure.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like I'm over here, like I don't know what the fuck that is. Like I consider I mean, like I'm a mainstream metal guy. Like I started out with like Metallica and on all of that stuff when I was a kid. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck Juggalo is. I don't know.
Oh man, that's crazy. I'm surprised because like pretty much almost everybody.
Jimmy,
I think
I'm surprised you're not a juggalo, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Damn.
I'm surprised. It's what they call the fans of Insane Clown Posse, which is branched off into like a huge
It's a huge
thing now.
community.
Yeah, it is very very big.
I appreciate Insane Clown Posse. There's some stuff I liked, but like music to me is about mood, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what I'm doing dictates what I'm listening to. I'm not going to listen to ICP if I'm sitting at the beach drinking a Mai Tai, right? Like
Some people
I'm
would.
not
The
gonna do-
Juggalos would, and they definitely do that.
Yeah.
But you know what keeps the Juggalo community so strong, dude, honestly, is the tribalism. With like not only just being a Juggalo, but like the I don't want to call it like.
You know what I saw the other day? I mean, I do not know why this popped up in my Facebook.
Yeah.
It was a sober support group for juggalos. Like they have support groups inside there for people that are getting sober.
Yeah.
Like they have communities inside their community.
Yeah, no, they 100% do. Like, dude, the community is crazy. The gathering of the Juggalos, the festival that they have is truly, truly wild. It was what I thought it was, but there were a lot of things that I saw there that I didn't expect. Which stuff like that, people trying to like get sober, and then there's a lot of people in the Juggalo community that are like, they're family men. They're trying to. When you look at stuff like this, it looks crazy, and honestly, it is that crazy. It's crazier than just like those photos, but there's a lot of normal people in the Juggalo world, if that makes sense.
Have you ever seen the episode of Workaholics?
I've never watched Workaholics before.
Oh my god, it's okay. Never mind. But they go to it's just a regular. It's a
okay
show, and they go actually they film a whole episode there. But
yeah,
Shane also wants to know who does your artwork for your shirts.
It varies. So it's been my wife recently with a couple of them. There's a Russian chick who in 2022 did the logo that you've probably most commonly seen on a lot of my merch. The one that Mike and Tyler have on right now. She did that. And she did. What shirt do you have on, Tyler? You got the shallow grave one? Yeah, it's a shallow grave one. Yeah. So my wife did that design that Tyler's wearing right now. And then this Russian chick I used to work with who's done a handful of designs did the Godslayer one that Mike has on right now.
Both of them are dope, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah. And like recently I've kind of like I did this EP called War Life Death. I was working with this Indonesian artist. So it kind of just varies. Just on whatever I'm trying to envision who I think would be a good fit.
Shane also asked, this is a great question, story about the mask. And my personal question is, was this before, honest answer, Were you rocking the mask that you had, I'm assuming custom made before Alex the Terrible was popular?
Alex Terrible was first. So
really,
yeah, he was first. So I saw Slaughter to Prevail in 2015 on their first time they were in the US, which was Summer Slaughter 2015. And I remember it because I was like, holy fuck, who is this band? Because they were so sick live. And I saw the mask and he was like performing in it. And I was like, oh shit. This is before, obviously, like before I became Sinizter. I had just gotten out of the army too. So I was like kind of brainstorming on like, image and kind of like stuff I wanted
Slaughter
to have
to Prevail didn't really come around until like COVID, like popularity wise. Like I never saw them for like 2020, 2021 maybe.
Yeah, they were pretty new in 2015. I think that was like their first year that they were like really active in doing stuff. But yeah, no. So I was on eBay and I was looking for like a mask because I really wanted it because I was just I was a fan. And I still have the mask actually sitting up there. It's just like a Alex replica mask. But the guy who I got it from was in Russia. This is back when you could order stuff from Russia at the time. And
thanks, Trump.
I know, right? Actually, I think it was the Russia-Ukraine war. So thanks to another president for letting that one happen. But anyways, yeah, Trump's not making it any better. But anyways,
he made a lot of money off that war.
Yeah. The military-industrial complex is making tons of money. Off this.
But anyways, so I got this, and I was just having a casual conversation with the guy after I bought it, just through like eBay messages, and he was like, yeah, I do this for a living. I made Alex Terrible's mask. And I was like, what's it based on? Because I was like, I didn't really believe it at first. And he was like, it's based on, you ever heard the game Darksiders?
Yes.
So there's an old game on like PS2, I think it was on PS3 actually, PS3 or PS4.
It's not old to me.
Darksiders. Yeah. And like the first boss, I guess it's like modeled after. So if you go play the Darksiders game, look up Darksiders first boss on Google Images too, you could probably find it. But yeah, he based it on that. And I was like, oh shit, that's a fun fact that I don't think not a lot of people know. But then I kind of had the idea for my mask to base it on like a video game thing like he did. So there was an old it's kind of a dead game now, but it's called Smite. And there's a demonic pack Anubis skin for like it's what they call a MOBA. It's massive online battle arena game. I don't know, but I'm sure people watching are probably familiar with that. It's kind of like League of Legends. League of Legends, if you're familiar, it's that type of game. But yeah, so Smite though, their whole thing was like they had like different gods and stuff like that in there, like a pantheon of gods to pick from. Well, Anubis was one of them, and so this was like a skin that they had for him. And I just thought it looked badass, and I was like, "Can you make a mask of this?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so I paid him not a lot actually; it was very cheap, but I guess because my money was worth a lot in rubles. So over like a 7-month long period, he like made the mask. I have pictures of it from like when it was being built or being, I guess, formed, because it was made out of like clay and then baked and formed again and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's kind of a trip to look back at some of that stuff now. But yeah, that's the story behind that. And then I adopted it for Sinizter because I got it before I even became Sinizter. I just wanted just my own thing. And then I was like, I think I'm going to use this mask. Like, I think it'd be really cool to incorporate. And then, so that's kind of
is it custom?
Yeah. But it fits my head because I think it's just like a standard size and it has like a adjustable strap on it too. But yeah, I mean, like I can't perform with it because it's kind of big. So I usually just bring it on stage as like a, image thing, like a brand.
Shane asks, any existing tracks you plan to shoot for videos for soon?
Man, this is going to be really disappointing, but I think I'm done shooting music videos. It's not profitable. I'm shooting short form content now. That's what everybody likes. That's what everybody watches. So that's what I got to do. But music videos, man, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's like what, $5,000 a pop?
Less. I could get them for less than that, but even like 1,000 to 2,000. It's like, like the last one I shot for Of Sin and Virtue, where I'm playing bass for a metal track, dude, like $2,500 for that shit. Which
do you make it back in YouTube?
No,
Like if you get 30,000 views, I guess it's only
because like if you think about everything, like the production of the song, like I have to pay somebody to actually like compose the song. So if you think about that, that puts me in the hole. The music video itself puts me in the hole. I mean, you're talking by that point, and then the mix of the song that puts me in the hole, like almost $4,000 right there. So you know, and then the song on Spotify currently sitting at like maybe 110,000, which is like a little over, maybe around like $400 roughly. So
definitely,
you know, profitability. Yeah, exactly. So it's, if I'm going to do something like that, it's going to be because like, I really love this song and I really like, I see the vision behind it. And I got some other people who also have a vision for it. So
well, we can always go just play Airsoft again.
Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah.
A Slater asked, my question would be, does he enjoy Harry Mack in his style?
Who's Harry Mack? I don't know who Harry Mack is. Oh man, that sucks.
So we will, when we are done here, we will Google Harry Mack.
Harry Mack.
Yeah, man, and obviously we want to know. Just a quick question: do you believe in the moon landing?
Oh yeah, you asked me that earlier. Oh man,
it's actually one of the most fun topics to debate because it's not fucking controversial and it's not political yet.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, I think it kind of like my version of what I'm about to tell you, I guess almost inadvertently is somewhat political. Because I think they lied about it 100%. And there's a video on it. So trust me, my answer, which is no, I don't. But it is backed. It is backed. There is a lot of evidence to support the fact that it was up or fabricated. At least the initial one, and we're talking what, 1969, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So I mean, that was the space race of what, 1955. Russia had a whole bunch of first this, first that, and the United States was terrified that like, oh fuck, you know, if they're able to, if they're gonna be a nuclear superpower if they can get ICBMs, you know, into space before we can. So what? Oh, let's just fake a moon landing. That'll show them. That'll show Russia. That'll scare them off. You know. So in short, that's pretty much why I think they did what they did.
I like your way better than the guy that I had to fucking deal with the other day, where I just got waterboarded with his fucking, I got kidnapped by the CIA. That's how I know this is true.
Oh yeah, nah. I mean, look, I would never, like, the stuff I believe in, man. I would never, except for my dad. My dad's the only person who's I will like do that too. Like I will waterboard and be like, you will believe what I believe, Dad, until morale improves. Like he's the only person I'll do that to. And even then it doesn't work. But yeah, for the most part, like that's kind of why like I don't always share my personal beliefs and views and stuff, because I know that it doesn't really matter. Like a lot of people they'll either think I'm fucking crazy or, you know,
I love the conversation. I genuinely love the conversation. Like, look, I don't agree with you. I think I could prove it, but you know, the back and forth is fun, right?
Yeah.
As soon as it starts losing being fun, and it starts being like, you're gonna believe me because I'm really emotionally invested in you believing me and me being right, then it's not fun anymore.
Yeah. That's another thing. What you just said, dude, I'm totally like not emotionally invested in what other people believe. Like I literally don't care. And that extends so far as to this part right here, where a lot of people think that I'm right wing because I'm military or whatever. And then this other crazy preconceived notion stems off of that, which is like, if you're conservative, you probably don't like trans people. You probably don't like gay people and all this stuff. And it's like, look, some of my biggest fans are gay or trans or both to be funny. But it's like I literally don't care what walk of life you come from. I do not care.
Dude, I think the world would be a better place if honestly we just all didn't care about other people.
And I agree. I don't give a fuck. You know, like nothing could mean less to me than who you fuck. But if you're gonna keep fucking bashing me over the face with like, I like fucking other dudes, and it's like, okay, dude, I got it. All right, now
it's the same thing. It's the same thing where I'll use this as like a kind of something to kind of contrast that with, where like at least in my scene, or it's a really common sentiment that people are like, don't push your Christianity on me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, and those same people will be like advocating for, I want to be accepted for X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay, look, it's the same argument. It's just about a different topic, you know? It's
Well,
like,
yeah,
no one,
and-
no one wants to be forced to believe or
Yeah.
accept,
That's
you know,
a-
whatever. But
it's a logical fallacy, right? That's all it is. It's just an inability to use your critical thinking to go, I wouldn't want this person to do this to me, therefore I won't do it to them.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. And
that's what, go ahead.
like the thing is like I honestly truly believe that we can all coexist regardless of whatever someone's into, or whatever you believe. I don't think it needs to be as deep as like, man, I'm gonna fucking fight you or I'm gonna kill you because you don't believe in the same thing as me. It's like, whoa, dude, like that's just so crazy that people
Yeah.
think that way.
Yep, that's the times we're living in now, dude. That's
Yeah,
why
I
you
know,
got to have
yeah.
a broadcast in 2026.
Yeah.
There's endless things to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, so where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's probably the place I live at the most, and Facebook nowadays.
Okay.
So Sinizter official on Facebook, and then at Sinizter _ on Instagram.
And he's got YouTube video. He's got videos for days going back like 7-8 years. So go check him out on YouTube as well. Dude, thanks so much for coming, man. It was an honor to have you. It's so cool to see people at just totally different walks of life and where they're at now. But you can go back to, we all, like Jimmy always says, we all crossed through that little fucking thing on Fort Benning after that fucking awful road march that took all night long and got our blue cords. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it was great having you. Great conversation, and I hope all of our supporters continue to support you as well. And then we'll see you soon, man. I was pressing that tour thing as like a kind of like, when are you gonna come back to Orlando, bro?
Yeah, I know. I'll put it to you this way: I'm not touring at all this year. No tour this year because I'm making new stuff. So 2027, I'll probably hit the road again.
All right, everybody. Well, we will be back tomorrow with a flagship broadcast, 11 a.m. We'll be talking about most likely ICE and the crazy people that pick up flashbang hand grenades and all that good stuff. So we will see you tomorrow at 11 live on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Scott, thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk soon.
All right. Take care, guys. Thanks for
JV team for life.